you're all set then.
Good morning, Bill and Lorna.
Good morning.
Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. And when we spoke a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned that you wanted to sit down so that we could conduct a financial review and get a full picture of your financial situation. So I wanted to find out, has anything changed since we spoke the last time, because you shared some information with me, and today we'll take a little deeper dive. No? Okay. And I also wanted to know, what would you like to get out of today's meeting?
General concern, making sure we have enough money for retirement and for kids' education.
Okay, all right, good. So we'll eventually drill down to those details, and so before we get started, I just wanted to take just a couple minutes to share with you Prudential, what we do and how we do the things we do, and the thought process behind it. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, all right. So Prudential's been around for over 140 years. We manage over $1 trillion in assets, and we provide a lot of good products and services for folks. And so one of the things is that most people don't know is that we are one of the top 10 global asset managers amongst the big players that you know, Fidelity and Vanguard, BlackRock. And we're also one of the, ranked in the top 25 of administrators for corporate and public pension funds in the country. And so a lot of people don't know that. Did you know that we were in that business?
No.
Right. Most people know us as get a piece
Insurance.
of insurance, right? Get a piece of the rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we do a whole lot more, and that's what I'm going to share with you in these next couple of minutes. Okay. So I'd like to share with you what our process is. It's pretty straightforward, but it's a pretty solid process for the financial advisor teams. And so we start with first establishing your financial goals and understanding your situation, right? Seeking first to understand so that we can create the best possible plan for you. And we take all the information that you share with us in understanding your situation and establishing your goals to go back and create an analysis for you that identifies any needs that you have, gives you the full picture of where you are with everything, and any gaps that you might have. And then based on that needs analysis, we then go back and we will come to you with recommendations for strategies that would be, that we see as being the most helpful for you, the most beneficial for you. And then you decide what strategies you'd like to implement, and we move forward with the plan, with the solutions that you choose. And then based on whatever you choose, we then also agree on how often we will sit down to review your progress. So it could be every 3 months if you want, it could be every 6 months, it could be once a year, but it's at least once a year would be a minimum.
Right.
Because as we know, things change over time, right? So, and market volatility and all different things, so we want to make sure that we stay on top of things so that you've got the best possible solutions working for you. Okay. So let me just pause here for a second. Do you have any questions around the process that we use to work with you?
No.
No? Why not? Okay. All right. So a part of that process, every good process has to start with the foundation. So think of building a house, right? And so you have to start with a solid foundation for a house. And so a part of our foundation is what we call the 4 cornerstones of financial planning. And so we start out with investments, which includes things such as retirement and education planning, right? And then we move into our savings and cash management, which includes helping you to put together a plan in place if you don't already have one for emergency funds, saving for a rainy day, special savings for special projects and purchases
Right.
that you might have. But it also takes a look at your income and expenses, your inflows and your outflows, so that we can make sure that your money is being maximized in the way that you want it to be. The other thing that we do as our 4 cornerstones is protection, and that's where the insurance piece comes in. And so you want to make sure that your family is protected in the event of your death, and that they have enough money to continue on with their lives, and also to be able to pass on legacy and wealth. And then the last part of this is the taxes and estate planning. So while we're not tax attorneys, we're not trust attorneys, we also want to make sure that you have the best possible plans in place. So when we make recommendations for you, we make the most tax-friendly recommendations that we can. And then estate planning, we want to make sure that you've got the whole, your whole estate plan, the pieces in place to make sure that your estate is in the best possible shape that it can be for your future, for your current and your future generations. Any questions on any of the points with the 4 cornerstones?
No.
No? Okay. So the next piece to this, I mentioned to you earlier that one of the things that we do is that we gather information from you so that we can go back and conduct an analysis for you, right, a detailed analysis. So the next part, if it's okay with you, I'd like to get into collecting some of that information from you so that we can take that information back to develop your plan. How does that sound?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so if you're like most people, one of the things is that you've got benefits at work. You both work for
Yes.
companies, you work outside of the home. Although, Bill, you're self-employed.
That's right.
Okay, so we'll
I'm
talk
with
about
myself.
you with your benefits, and Lorna, you work for a corporation, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, so if you could, I would like to start gathering the details on the different benefits that you have, both through your employment and then on the individual side, and then we'll also talk about the legal details. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.